To stay safe whenever you're riding a bike or driving your car. They'll give us a wave, won't you? Give us a wave. Look at there you are. Okay, they're very friendly over here now, so we're all right. Where are you all from? Hello? Where are you from?
Coleraine.
Where? I can't hear you.
Coleraine.
Shit, I thought you were going somewhere foreign like Dunyannon. Hey, where are you from?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Hello here. Here, tell you what, here, have a hat. There you go. Have that hat, courtesy of Northwest 200. By the way, too, if you're here for the first time, this is the weather we get for the Northwest 200 every year. If you come here quite often, just smile and shut your mouth. Okay, fair enough, that's all we got to do. Wasn't the racing last night fantastic? Now, we have a lot of riders here for you. Meet the riders, obviously, is an annual event for us, so some are a bit nervous. So what I want you to do is give them a big cheer and they come on like that, and we'll do our best anyway. And the crowds, are you enjoying the sunshine? Yes. Some legs in view this weather, isn't there? What do you think? There's some pins there, I can tell you. And there's a few people who are definitely foreign. I don't mean Dunyannon now. I'm talking about maybe Coleraine or something. But there's a few riders coming up here, and I'll do my best, but that'll be it. The first man I have upcoming is... I don't work, I get the...
Are you blind? Hello?
Hello, where are you?
Hello?
She says, I hate the English, I have to tell you. We bollocks, come on over here, they'll talk to you. How are you, kid?
Now, before we start, there's two negatives, right, with sunshine. One is on a Thursday night at Blackhill. It comes a little bit too low and it's a bit dangerous for the riders. The other one is Logie's legs.
Oh my. Well,
some people call them legs.
Now, before you start, we're staying together in the same gaff, and while he looks all nice and sophisticated there's a few things, he's left a few things that nobody should be proud of, that's all I can say. In the last couple of days we've been there. What about last night's racing? Wasn't it magnificent?
Hey, brilliant. You know, really good. There's a few surprises, I think, as in, that's no disrespect to Ian Hutchinson. You know, it's magic to see that boy back on the podium, and obviously, yeah, no, brilliant, really is. You know, that boy's an inspiration. He really is. He digs deep so much, and really keeps going back to the forefront. But of course, the local winner. I was out at Blackhill watching the sunshine just in case it got too low and dangerous. And it made me chuckle because, you know, everybody was out in the gardens obviously watching the bikes coming past, and as soon as MD got near the front, they watched him come by and run straight back in the house to watch it on the telly to see if he's going to win. It's brilliant, yeah, great atmosphere.
I don't know a word what you said, swear to God, you see him and Lawrence, they get together, fluent Swahili, you know, all I get is, all up mate, that's all I can get over here. You talked about last night's racing. And there's issues with sunshine, there's issues with rain, there's issues with every single condition you go out. These fellas have to know what they're doing. These boys have to be so careful. All we're looking for is safe racing, isn't it? Great racing, but safe racing.
Yeah, magic. You know, it's that's pretty much my job really here these days, you know, to look after the newcomers and to keep my eye on safety, the protection around the course. I know it's a road race, but we still try and keep it as safe as possible, you know, and as Logie says, with the different types of weather that always seems to happen at the Northwest, whether it's rain or sunshine, you know...
that's what you call it, rain.
It all has to be accounted for, and not just for the front guys, all the way down through the field. There are some experienced, some not very experienced, and, you know, you've got to look after all the guys, really, but... we had a bit of an incident, sorry Logan, a bit of an incident obviously on the first night of practice. Those guys are actually doing okay, you know, they're going to be a while getting better, but they're doing obviously the medics and stuff did a great job on the roadside, and those guys are doing coming along well in hospital at the moment.
Isn't that fantastic? Good news like that. We always like to hear that because it's great, it's exciting, but it's dangerous. So yeah, let's put our hands together so they can know that the people here that we appreciate it. I'm going to bring on a man now. But listen, we were slightly late because Steve was signing autographs around the back. He must have signed about 100 of them. We couldn't get rid of one of them. But anyway, there you go. I've got a man, listen, who has decided...
Weather has been class all week. You know, after a difficult Wednesday, phenomenal racing yesterday, and back to Juniper Chicane, my old spot for many years, and yeah, the racing was class. Brilliant.
And do you miss it now whenever you say, I know like you make the decision, and the decisions I'm sure are very difficult and well thought out, but then whenever you were there last night and they're all getting ready to go and they're raving and there's a minute or 2 minutes to go, do you say, I should be there, or are you saying to yourself, God, I made the right decision?
You know, I always said it was like a little bit of a holiday when I was here, and I think when you come to this area, in general, you feel like that, and when you come to the Northwest, festival, you feel like that even more, and it always did feel like that before I raced and during when I raced as well. I think last night when I heard the buzzer go, when it says like 3 minutes to go, it was a bit like, I was actually going to the toilet when I heard that. And,
hey, most of them would be going to the toilet with 3 minutes to go. I
came out of the toilet and I said to Laura, I got a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit emotional. But standing watching everyone race, it was it was a great job. You can't miss something when you're here. That's what I've tried to reiterate to a lot of people. I'm still at the Northwest 200. I just have a great week now without that little lingering thought of the road racing aspect. So it's maybe more fun. I don't know.
Well, here, I tell you what, it was interesting you said you looked at the Northwest and you treat it as a bit of a holiday. I'm not sure too many people think Coleraine to Port Rush at 210 mile an hour on a bike. I think I was a bit of a
You
holiday.
look like you're in Tenerife the way you're dressed.
What do you like the legs? What do you reckon? Look apart, don't they? There you go.
Yeah,
Well, is there any question you'd like to ask out there to those people? Is there a question that you would like to ask them? Because I might give the person a prize. If you have one question.
I've got one.
Scott, was there turn me? I was talking to him, not talking to you.
He'd do anything for a tenner.
I know he'd do anything for it. Just like a one-week question there.
You got a bit of a fix on Wednesday, taking the newcomers round, and obviously you're buzzing and leading them round for 5 or 6 laps. I turned around to see you on the link road at the end of the first lap. You was pushing on, but then you disappeared. Couldn't you keep up?
You played a mind game with me, so you said we are going to take the newcomers around. We're going to go really slow in lap 1 and we're gradually going to increase it. By lap 3, I couldn't see you anymore. I think you pulled the pin a little bit early. But that was a great fix. Many of you ride road bikes. You're very used to riding with road tyres, and we're not really. Well, Steve's longer retired, so he is. But with Station Corner, it's the first time I've ever had a Speedo, and I thought, I want to have a little look to see what we're actually doing through here. 176 mile an hour with road tyres, and that's when we're kind of trucking on a little bit, trying to catch him. But it kind of, I was looking at that in a different attitude, because you're not in race zone and you're like, Glenn, this is mental, slow down, but you're like, nah. It was a lot of fun, right? I have one question. He told me to ask one that makes me sound arrogant, so I don't like that one. So, Northwest 200, should I come back and race or not?
Hey! I've only one hat for flute's sake. Hey, I tell you what. Here, close your eyes and throw it out somewhere. Close your eyes. Matter of fact, you should throw it out. Hey, what do I say? One of these youngsters, do you see that wee youngster? Why wouldn't you give it to him? Throw it to him. Or did that wee lassie there? Aye, close your eyes, fire it out.
Oh, good catch.
Hey, what did I tell you, boy? Good looking face. You'd be better off a balaclava. Hey, I'm only joking. Like, when you come to the meeting, you have to get stick. What the hell was it? I believe you've got a friend in the side here. You're bringing somebody else up.
The lad we're going to bring up. So I've been trying to take him to the pubs all week, but there's method behind the madness. This lad in particular, if I can make him a little bit slower at Donington Park next week, it makes my job of winning British Superbikes a bit easier. So our British Superbike champion, Coleraine, has joined us this week.
Give this man a welcome. Come on. Come on over here. Don't be shy, eh?
He's put a big effort in for today. He asked my wife last night if she knew any beauticians, and he went and got a spray tan this morning. So,
Well, you see, round in Glen, where we're from, you understand this, we would call that a sheep dip. You just go along and you know what I'm talking about, girls. Anyway, what do you think of the Northwest?
Lovely weather, lovely people.
Wait, who have you been talking to? Who's the lovely? Who's the lovely? But I tell you what, it's a different gig, isn't it? Compared to what you're used to.
Yeah, I've only been once, 2023, and it pissed it down all weekend. So it wasn't ideal, especially for the boys racing. I mean, it's scary enough as it is, even doing BSB tracks. So to ride round on a road 8 mile long when it's raining, hats off to him. So yeah, I'm just glad that this year the weather looks good all weekend. Yeah, just hoping for a safe race for everyone on Saturday.
And Ken, this man's done it all as well too for us. Would you look at it and look at the grid and say, I wouldn't mind getting on there and giving it a go?
I mean, in the back of your mind, you kind of think maybe I'd be able to do it, but to get over the line and even give it a shot and put my levers on, there's absolutely no chance. Even if I wanted to, my nan and granddad wouldn't let me.
Yeah, well, and they're quite right too, tell you the truth. But listen, British champion, you just don't get there. Like, you clearly are a young lad of great, great talent. And is there different skills for you as opposed to the fellas on the road? Is there a different skill in the circuit?
I don't know. I mean, I've never rode.
This is where you need to drop your shorts and see the difference.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
All right, we're away again. Go on. Keep it going. Keep on talking to him. What's he like as a teammate? What's he like? Do you like him?
I'm growing to Glen.
Do you? You're not choosy, are you?
Yeah, even a few people. I mean, what we had a bloke yesterday. He said, as long as you beat that bloke Glen Irwin, I can't say any more. He started swearing, but I don't know why a lot of people don't like Glen personally. He's a nice person.
Wait a minute. I told you not to say that.
But no, recently we've got on very well, respect to each other on the track, off the track, and I mean, he's invited me all weekend to come and watch and stay with him and Laura and the kids, so yeah, it's been a great time up to yet.
I just want to say and interrupt you just for a second to say the programmes are on sale just around the corner, and you know, every single programme that you buy means that this fantastic event keeps on going. I was just talking to Mervyn about it last night. 1.4 million it takes to run this event every year for this area and for the economy of the whole place. It's an incredible effort by everybody. So look, if you haven't got a programme and you feel like contributing, we'd really appreciate every programme sale. Go ahead, sorry I was interrupting you there. Right, Glenn, what have you got to say to them?
I don't know, I think it's been a great kind of manny all week. My 2 daughters, 3-year-old and 2-year-old, the 3-year-old dumped their boyfriend and their boyfriend's now Coleraine, which is has been interesting, but it's been a good week. Kyle's off golfing today in Port Stewart. I might caddy because I'm not a golfer. He plays off 5. Have any golf fans here? Plays off 5. So
you what? You play off 5?
He's a better golfer than he is a motorbike racer.
Talented wee bollocks, isn't he? Plays off 5 for flukes sake. Steve, what do you think? Your quiet word from?
Oh, no, obviously his talent, you know. There's another guy actually just turned up in hospitality today, Scott Redding. You know, he's here first look. It's blown his mind just driving around the course. He can't believe he's driving from the airport and actually on the racetrack. But obviously he's going to go out for a lap in the car tomorrow and get the real deal, really. But it's pretty special, eh? You know, towards the end of your career, we can't dangle any carrots and get you.
But it shows how special it is, really, isn't it? Because we have a massive crowd here now in Coleraine. We have a British Superbike champion over. We have Scott Redding, who is a MotoGP race winner, if I'm right, World Superbike race winner, and they're all rushing to Northern Ireland to watch the Northwest 200. So when Logie does do what he has to do and plug the programme sales for Mervyn's Caribbean holiday, it does also keep going. Sorry, it's not Ian Paisley. It does keep the sport alive, and I think we do need to continue to do that because road racing is probably still in a tough moment, and I think we should all continue, as you are doing by being here today and this week, continue to help wherever you can, and long may it continue.
And look, I know you're going to play golf. You're going very shortly, but do you think you might be able to stay and maybe do a couple of autographs for people that are...
Yeah, we've easily got 15 minutes. So,
right, that's right. Well, you'll get the 2 autographs signed. Don't worry about that. Come on over here. Thank you. Let's just mark up.
Steve, never mind us. Would you make a comeback?
Hang on a second. Quiet, we hear this answer. This will be good.
26.
26.
Aye, do a comeback next year, Stevie.
No. There's no chance of Glenn coming back.
Hang on, there's people here from Norway. What he said was basically, do you fancy a comeback next year?
Yeah.
Only joking, like. Go ahead.
No, it's not for me. You know, time and a place, and I had a really good run. You know, obviously a lot of success here, and really enjoyed it. But I'll leave it to I get my fix every year, same as Glen now, you know, taking the newcomers around 5 laps, and to be quite honest with you, after 5 laps I was feeling it. Do you know what I mean? I do a lot of riding still and so on, but it's not, I know there's a lot of straights here, but it's not quite as simple and as easy as it looks. It is pretty physical.
Thanks very much for that short answer. Oh, Jesus. Right, the people have to get their dinner. I'm looking at it too. BBC Northern Ireland are with us here today. They're a media partner of the Northwest, and the work that they do as well, and the coverage is unbelievable. And a man down here who always, look, he hits it every year. There's young Stephen Davison, the man, and you see the photographs, the quality photographs, been looking after the Northwest and road racing for years and years. He deserves a warm round of applause. Now, he hates it, but he's entitled to it. Lads, we'll let you go. I know you're going to sign a few autographs before you go and play the golf. It's a pleasure to meet you, fair play to you. And where did you get this, the fake tan? Where did you go to?
I've got this from Nottingham.
From Nottingham? I'm a Forest supporter. You support Forest too?
Super Drug in Nottingham.
Hey, hang on a second. Hey, will we make the Champions League? What do you think? Or we're blown it? What do you think?
It's a tight one, but I mean, at the start of the season, I'm pretty sure that it took 60 points already, so it's... you got to take what you get, but yeah, I've enjoyed watching Forest this season.
Logan's a Barcelona supporter as well.
No, but they're a foreign team, you buckies. Hang on. I go back to Forest. I go back to Peter Grummett, Ian Story Moore, Terry Hennessy, Martin O'Reilly, Roy Keane. I know them all, so there you are. I'll put you in your place anyway. So listen, keep supporting the Forest. So if I need tickets for Forest, that's okay. I appreciate that, Glenn. God bless you.
Forest had Kyle on the pitch, a Premier League game, and Coleraine had me in an Irish League game.
How'd you? You were on the pitch for Forest? I'm definitely ringing you. How do you get a couple of tickets? Ladies and gentlemen, 2 of our superstars. They're going to go down here and do the usual. Say hello to a few as I got. We really appreciate your kindness, lads. Thank you very much indeed. Give them a big round of applause. Come on. A Coleraine round of applause. Who's next? Christian. Now give Christian, come on now, he's very shy. Give him a wee cheer. Come on out here. And Christian, they're slagging my legs. Is that the first time they've been out in a couple of years, is it?
String with knots, I think.
Do you know what I was going to say to you? It's all right for these boys with all these fancy factory bikes and all that sort of stuff. You spent your Tuesday. Tell the people how you spent your week so far.
A lot of trouble. The Northwest normally either goes really, really well or really, really bad. There never seems to be anything in between. We had a problem. We didn't get practice on the twin on Tuesday with all the accidents that happen and things, which happens with the Northwest, unfortunately. Even though it's fantastic weather, we thought we'd have a good evening. There was a lot of accidents. We had a problem with the 600. It basically did a big end, which means the big end picked up. It was an old motor. I had issues at the start of the year because I was meant to be building a new engine after Easter Monday, but unfortunately I fell off at Kirkeston and broke my collarbone.
Let me see you. Oh, you break nothing, you did. But here, listen, you're building machines at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like you're not out dancing at Lake Fantastic and Danny Coy's in the station house and all.
No. We did a late shift. We basically built a brand new engine for the R6 on Tuesday evening. And I don't think the neighbours would have been too impressed because we were on the dyno at 5 in the morning running it in.
But what about the Northwest? You know, you're back again, you clearly enjoy it. And look, the thing, we have sponsors, we have volunteers, we have everything. We have the riders like yourself, and then you look at this here, and we have the fans. We think the fans over here are a wee bit special, they're very knowledgeable, but they're so supportive, I think, of the likes of yourselves.
Well, support me. I've got a lot of Northern Ireland sponsors. I've lived in Northern Ireland for 17 years, believe it or not. You wouldn't think it with my accent. But no, it's a fantastic event, and it's great to see all the crowds coming out to see the riders. And what's amazing over here as well is when you're riding round, whether you're first or last, the crowds really support all the riders. I think they just appreciate the riders making the effort to come over and join the event.
That's fantastic. So if you're last, like you've been a few times, Steve, they're still waving. Come on over and say, don't be standing at a distance, come on over and say hello.
Christian, obviously, you've had a lot of success around the Northwest course. You know, you've been on it. You've had some down times as well. 1 or 2. You know, you've been upside down and so on. What's the inspiration to keep coming back, especially when the chips are down, you're blowing engines up and you're up all night?
I just love riding the bike. I love the Northwest. I love the atmosphere. I love all the people that run it. It's great that they try and do the best for you. And when you do get a result and you get on the podium, it's like nothing else. You can't really explain the feeling of when everything goes well and everything clicks. It's just mega.
How many days between an operation on your collarbone to riding the motorcycle?
I got out of hospital on Wednesday gone, and I was setting the horn up in the paddock on Friday.
That's worth a round of applause, isn't it?
So,
Say that again, man. Say that again, man. What?
I broke my collarbone on Easter Monday. The following Tuesday I had it plated. I stayed in overnight. So I'd just like to thank all the hospital staff at the Royal Victoria. You did a fantastic job of getting me screwed together in time to make this event.
And how is it when you're riding?
No, to be honest, no problem at all. The biggest problem is really I had bronchitis at the start of the year, and I was on steroids at the start of the year, so I missed the first race meeting. So bike fitness, I'm not as good as I normally would be, and that's the biggest problem. The collarbone's not a problem at all. Believe it or not.
The way you're talking, I wouldn't be doing my lotto this weekend. Tell you, there's not much luck for you.
We're just having a bit of a bad run, but hey, when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad, and you have to take the rough with the smooth.
Well, look, I tell you what, we get all these people that come over and they win a lot of races and stuff like that, but then the next year said, you show the spirit of what motor racing is all about, because you do it for the love of the sport. To get an operation and 2 days later be back out on the bike, to me, I just think that's incredible dedication. I think that's unbelievable. I think that's gentleman. Come on, folks. What an effort that is. Adrian, you're going to go around and sign a few autographs for us, aren't you? Give us that microphone.
Thank you very much.
Kid. No bother.
Thanks, buddy.
Who have we got next? I've got Emil. Good morning, Emil. Hi.
Hi.
Emil, where are you from?
I'm from Slovakia.
You're from Slovakia? Is that upper Slovakia or lower Slovakia? No, I know, don't worry about it, will be alright. So is your first time here?
Yeah, of course. First time.
Now, our answer is going to be a wee bit like this, where I ask a question and you're going to give me 2 words and then we move on. You're going to give me a long answer.
I will try.
You will try. Hey. Do that. The girls love that. So do the boys. I will try. What do you think of the Northwest? First, an obvious question.
Pardon. I'm sorry for my English.
Steve, come on back. I love you, kid. What do you think of the Northwest? What do you think of the Northwest?
It's incredible. Really incredible. Fantastic. I love it.
There you are. Listen, it's not great. Fantastic. I love it, really. Could you give us a wee bit more, like whatever I got there? What do you think of the fans?
When I compare it for another races, I'm racing in the IRC Championship.
Yes.
It's totally different here. Long straights, a long course, and definitely more speed here. So it's everything new here for me, and a lot of learning. But I think it's fine.
And the likes of this man and several of the other top riders as well, they try and keep you in place, give you an idea, they take you around the newcomers and show you the course.
You came across and spent some time with us on the coach, going around the course, just looking at some different areas. How did it actually feel to get out on your first lap when you were behind the instructor?
At the first laps, when we finally ride on bikes after behind the instructor, I was scared. I can say I was really scared when we ride down the Portage.
Yes.
Into the city.
Yeah, to Metropole.
Yeah, to the Metropole. There is just a big cloud of dust, and I lost the group. So I slow down a little bit and say, okay, we will try the next round. But then it was fine.
And Emil, can I ask you, was this on your bucket list to come and be able to say, I have ridden in the Northwest? Was it part of your dream, one of your things to say, yes, I have done it?
Yeah, it was a big dream to come here, and now it's finally, I'm here.
And tomorrow's going to be amazing too, because there's a different buzz on a Saturday as opposed to Thursday racing. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Steve? It's a different animal, you know.
Especially with that strange thing in the sky, you know it's going to be packed out tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if you get that in Slovakia, but that's the sun here. We don't get it that often, to tell you the God's truth, you know, but there you are. But listen, we're so delighted, because the Northwest we feel always puts out a welcome mat for people from all over the world, the fans, and for the riders, and to have somebody like yourself coming from Slovakia just adds a wee bit of charisma and a bit of style to it. We really, really appreciate you coming here to do that. Would that be correct?
Bang on. And next year, you'll be back?
I hope so.
Well, I hope so too, and maybe my English will have improved by then. That'll do, Emil. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
indeed.
thank you
God
very
bless
much.
Thank you. Will you go around the front and sign a few autographs for the people? Yes? Good luck. Come on, give them a round of applause. Man, all the way from Slovakia. Unbelievable.
Good guys. You're right, boss.
Hey, how are you, kid? I tell you what,
Fantastic.
whenever you're involved in sport over the years, there's a word that people always throw out very often, like, you know, well, here, this fella, or this man or woman sports person, they're a legend. And there's thrown out too willy-nilly. But I have to tell you, we're standing here now in the presence of a true legend. And I think they deserve a massive round of support. Come on, lad. How are you, John? How are you keeping?
All right, yeah, good. Yeah, really, really good. A little bit tight in the old body after last night. Busy day yesterday. Quite a lot of laps on the superbike and superstock, and then 2 races. And yeah, it's hard. Good, you know, weather's good, so bit of sweating going on. But yeah, tough night's racing, but good racing. I mean, it was real good, exciting stuff, wasn't it? But I wasn't at the sharp end, but I wasn't a million miles away.
But you know, you couldn't have written the script for last night. We went through, there was out an incident, we had Michael up twice on the podium, you know what I mean? You had Davey winning his first superbike. Look, the stories were there for everybody, weren't they?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you know, Davey putting that team together at the last minute with Hickey and their first ever race. They won the superbike race, which was really special. And Michael, and this is Michael territory around here, isn't it? I think it's last time he won was 2016 or something.
I think it was about 2015.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. But I mean, Michael, you just don't know what you're going to get from him. You know, when he's on form, he's absolutely electrifying. And in qualifying, he was upside down, wasn't he? Coming out of Macroboy, high side, he coming out there, picked himself up and won a couple of races. So yeah, it's good.
I was asking him last night in the podium. He came into the podium. He came into the marquee. It was almost as if, as we say around here, a bit of a tight carry here. He was keeping his cards close to his chest, and he goes out and blows people away, which was fantastic.
Yeah, debut on the Ducati, debut on the BM. So yeah, it's not looking good for us guys, is it? But I mean, my teammate Dean did a fantastic job as well. He was on the rostrum of the Superbike, Superstock races, great race in the 600, just missed the podium. So the Honda's pretty competitive in the hands of Dean. For me, I'm doing my best. I'm finding it a little bit harder. I haven't quite found that pace I had last year, but hopefully it'll come on Saturday. Yeah, I just. You know, the depth of the field's real strong. The bikes out there are special, and some fantastic riders out there. So I suppose to finish 8th, I shouldn't be too disappointed. Really, I still enjoyed being out on the track. So.
Just to pick up on that, John. Obviously, you're not a spring chicken. Neither am I. But like Alton Park testing, you're doing your personal best lap times. But not quite translating that over, especially last night here. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I don't know. We're scratching our heads. We've been with the engineers.
Which is, your personal best is bloody fast. It really is.
Yeah, I'm sort of middle sector. It's middle sector on the track. Pretty weak on the middle sector. Matched my best times on the first sector and sector 3, but middle sector, which is the exit of the roundabout, through them 2 chicanes on the brakes into the Metropole. I need to did a kick up the backside, mate, I think, and my wife said to me, just get your finger off, stop messing about, and that's probably the best pep talk I'll probably get. But it's a bit of head scratching really, same bike as last year and everything. So
we had Logie, had Dean in the hospitality this morning. We had all the school kids in there, 300 school kids. But Dean was saying to me that the bike's fast, top end. Yeah. Maybe he's suffering slightly off the turn compared to the opposition.
Yeah, we're just struggling with a little bit of instability as well. They're quite hard to ride, they're quite physical to ride. The BMW has them great big wings and things, maybe just a little bit more stable. But Dean's bike's been a missile. I mean, he did 209 on the first night, which is nuts. I got over 200 mile an hour. Very rarely I very rarely get over 200 mile an hour. I did 202 point summit, so that's not bad for dragging a fat old bugger down the road. 53-year-old codger down the road. Yeah.
Well, John, I think some people don't realise that it's not just a case that you come over here that makes you so popular because you ride the bike. Because even on Wednesday, you were there along with Michael Rudder in the marquee doing his own chat show, giving it back, listening to the people, which I think is fantastic. You know what I mean? This man, he just doesn't come, jump on a bike and go home. I think that's why. Is that one of the reasons why we love him? I think so, it is too, because he gives so much back. We appreciate that. But now there's children here, and the police are down there. Don't be telling any of them yarns you told Wednesday night here, please.
Well, without the fans, we're nothing. You know, it's really makes a difference. And some of the comments you get over the years are really, really special. Sort of humbling at times, you know. And I've seen like toddlers in pushchairs when I first came here in 1994, my 31st year of coming here now, and now they're adults, they've gone through school, gone to university, they're engineers or whatever, so I have a real big, you know, class group of friends over here that I love, you know. Like today, the paddock is absolutely buzzing, all along that coast is buzzing, we're buzzing here today, and that really, really does make a difference to the event. It's just a shame. I used to like the Tuesday, Thursday, you know, you could go to the Anchor Bar, have a few beers on then it was the Kelly's on a Wednesday, wasn't it? And then, but like now, it's just a bit all hands to the pump, straight from Alton Park, and quite a heavy schedule. But I really do appreciate all you guys. You know, riding. I mean, Saturday's going to be epic. When you go around the wall, like we just see everybody out there. It's really, really special, and hopefully we can put a good show on. You know.
John, when you obviously 1994, first time obviously you come along and you've got all your heroes you're out there against, it's a bit kind of mind blowing to start with, you know, and you were teammates with Joey and some massive names you've been through the McCallum years and so on, you know, and now you're the old legend, but it's still going really fast.
Yeah, it's strange. One of my old sparring partners, Wolsey Coulter. Yep. Top rider from Portadown. I just seen him walking through the paddock. He looks like an old tramp. He's got an old bicycle. I was like, what? But he was a real good goer. But I remember coming first time in '94. It was old Iveco van. It was full of red diesel. I know the police are probably listening, but it was full of red diesel. I had no insurance, I had no tax, but all I wanted to do was get to the event. And I got here, and when you pull up to the gate, it's just a different atmosphere, different feeling. You know, Billy Nutt was there and Mervyn, and they said, "Oh, you're very, very welcome." You know, that's what the first thing they ever said was, "You're very, very welcome here, John." And a lot of times in racing, you don't get that. You know, it's so it just the atmosphere in the paddock was cool. I had really no idea where it was going to go. There was only me and Becky. I had 90 quid in my pocket. I had enough money to a few tins of beans I got off my mum and my grandma and stuff. So a bit of a cooker in there, but I did it. You know, I think I finished about 15th or something, broke down in the other race, but yeah, that was the journey, start of the journey, and that early feeling in them days just makes me want to come back. And even when I pack in, I will always come back to this place.
John, you talk about quite a journey, and it's been quite a journey for you. Mervyn and Billy Nutt said to you all those years ago, you're very, very welcome. And I think the message from all the fans here today is this year as well, and every other year to come, John McGuinness, you are very, very welcome to the Briggs Equipment Northwest 200 South. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, John McGuinness. Thank you very much. I'll take that off you now, Brian, I'll take that. Next up.
I'll go and sign some autographs.
Yeah, he's going to sign some autographs down the front. Who have I got now? Fantastic effort. Dean Harrison, come on. And again, I want to tell you, we had 300 school children from all the schools in the area. They were in the marquee this morning where they get free bibs and free goodies from Briggs Equipment and from Cure Tires and JKC and a lot of the top sponsors. I hope I haven't left anybody out. And then we always ask somebody to come along to talk to the children, one of the riders. And this man on the podium last night, who was there this morning at 9 o'clock this morning, again a bit like John, giving a bit back, this man here. Come on, what about that? Talk to you this morning. You were happy enough in the end to be on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday's race went really well. Superbike race. I'm struggling with a few little bits, but to be thereabouts in with the fight. I'll be honest, this super sport race a little bit disappointing because I ride that bike week in, week out at British Championship, so need to get my finger out and ride a little bit harder. The super stock race, to be honest, I got a real bad start and I was like 8th and I sort of chipped my way through, so a couple of podiums first night's nice. Everyone at Honda's worked flat out all week, as they are doing now back in the paddock, and then we'll try again tomorrow, and luckily the sun will shine.
And you'll hope for a better finish. You'll hope to go one more. You'll hope to get up
yeah, exactly.
as a number one tomorrow.
We need a handful of podiums at least, but hopefully one of them will be a win in there somewhere.
Steve, come on in.
Dean, you do a lot of riding, obviously, a lot of off-roading. You know, I know you're second best to your mate Baz Ferber.
Yeah,
but you know,
said you were a bit crap last time. Actually, he went out with you.
Accident proof.
He said you seem to find every ditch in sight.
But you know, when you come to the northwest, what's the mindset? Are you attacking, or is it a build-up for the TT? The TT is obviously a big thing in your life.
Massive, yeah. The TT obviously is the biggest race of the year. Northwest is one of the biggest races of the year as well. But where I was just having this conversation a second ago, obviously not riding the superbike now, or riding the super sport. Where else can you test the bike for the TT than here? You know yourself, you've been raced both and won both, so we're learning a lot all the time, trying to improve little areas and things like that, and I feel like we've made some good steps this week. The bike's definitely made a step in speed. I'm thereabouts, so we can try and make another step tomorrow, which we've sort of made some changes. I'm going at the race a little bit unknown, but the problem is, if I don't take the gamble and make a change, how do you know if you don't? Where else am I going to test it?
You know, last night, I kind of marked a few people's cards. You're going to win the Supersport. Yeah, your teammates in British Championship. You know, Kennedy, he's world class. You know, he's proper on the bike. You're very close to him, and I just thought you were going to go out. How disappointed were you?
No, yeah, I was disappointed to myself. I was a bit frustrated with myself and a few other little things, but I'm going to go out and try and make amends tomorrow and have another go. Because, like I say, at British Championship, I don't think I can get a bigger sort of, in Jack himself being, I think he's world class. He's probably the best British supersport rider there's ever been. 5 times British champion, and like he's my target type sort of thing. So I'm always winning a couple of attempts. It's just, you know, it's always constantly playing catch up. And we work really well together. I learn off him and vice versa, to be honest. So we'll keep sticking at it.
You know, this season, looking in from the outside, it seems to be a paddock full of German motorbikes, and then you on a Honda, you know. Does it feel like a lot of weight on your shoulders to try and beat all them boys?
Yeah, I felt a bit under pressure, to be honest. I did a little bit. I was sat there in the superbike grid yesterday, and I'm third on the grid, and I think it was BM, I'm on a Honda, and then it was a row of BMs, and another row of BMs. I'm like, it felt quite strange actually, so I thought I better try and make amends and get Honda up there. So unfortunately I could only manage second, so we'll try and make amends tomorrow, but it proves obviously how good the Honda is. I can battle with the other bikes, so...
Who wants to see a Honda winning?
Hang on, there's nothing wrong with BM. There's no driving a BMW and JKC because they give you it for the week. They give you one as well too. There's nothing wrong.
It might have, but it's not as good as my Honda.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think of the fans? I know we ask this all the time, but we always think that the support you get here and the knowledge that you get here as well makes us a wee bit special at the Northwest. Would you agree?
100%. I think the heritage of the road racing and obviously all the fans from the island in itself is unbelievable. Like I say, racing around yesterday, turning left at University, and it's just a sea of people all over the link road, all around the roundabout. And Metropole, it's 3 or 4 deep all the way around, and it's great to see that they're enjoying watching the racing and we're enjoying riding as motorbike.
Dean, listen, we can't thank you enough. I know you are very busy, and we really appreciate every rider who comes here on a Friday for you, the fans, because you know yourself, they're under so much pressure. And then they go out tomorrow, and we're expecting them to deliver fantastic road racing, which they will. And all we can hope for is a good day and a safe day. Dean, it's always a pleasure when you come onto the podium. We thank you very, very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
You're going to stay and sign a few autographs? Yeah, no problem. You can go down that way, take it that way. Who have I got next? Here, where's Paul? Come on. Now, there's a man there could have been wearing shorts. Tell you what, listen. Even you didn't say the short. Paul, it's great to have you here. Fair play to you. It's nice to be here again,
yeah,
isn't it?
Nice to be back here at Coleraine again, and obviously it's been nice to be on the north coast, you know, and been blessed with wonderful weather, and it'll be here tomorrow as well, so everybody get their sun cream out.
I think so. Get the sun, exactly, yeah. Get those legs out, get the sun cream out, I agree with you. And I tell you what, we're talking to John and a few of the boys. He looks at I was looking even at the start that we were doing last night, looking for the mark in the marquee. The quality of rider on the grid now is something special, isn't it? There are winners virtually all over the place whenever you take a look at it.
Yeah, you know, the competition is unbelievable, isn't it? It's like last night I went back to the apartment and I was very, very deflated. You know, I had 3 top 10s, and to be honest, if you'd asked me that 2 years ago, if I came to the Northwest in the top 10s, I would have bit your arm off. But you know, to me, it's not right. Where I need to be somewhere else now. I need to be further up the field, and you know, I was looking down through the list of riders, and bloody hell, there's some experience there, and there's some fantastic riders, you know, and it's incredible for the Northwest to have such a calibre of riders there, and to be a part of it is amazing.
I spoke to you, you know, a few weeks ago now. You know, we bumped into each other a few different places, but you were really peaking with the way you're riding. Really happy, you know, everything's kind of tip top. Is that why you're so deflated yesterday? I mean, top 10's brilliant, but it's just a case of I know what it's like.
Yeah, like practice, we were thereabouts. You know, even on the big bike from word go, I was on the pace. You know, I matched my time last year, I think on the second lap of what we did last year. So, you know, I had high hopes for last night's race, and I'm not sure if the emotions got the better of me, and I was trying too hard to try and make something happen when we all know that the 10th rider doesn't really perform. So I'm going in tomorrow forgetting about last night's racing, and let's go back to enjoying it again. You know, I've enjoyed my whole winters. You know, I've been in Thailand, I've been in Spain, all training, and you know, the work I've put in didn't show last night, and I want to make things right tomorrow.
There's an interesting thing you say to me there, the fact that it relates to all sport. If you look at some people who feel that they haven't achieved what they can do, they're probably taking it too seriously. There's something about it. You didn't probably say to yourself, I need to relax a bit more and do what you're good at and not be worrying too much about it. Like, but top 10's a hell of it. Hey, you know what I mean? Whenever you look at those fields, it's great to hear you say that you're not happy with it.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, as I say, like, the competition's amazing, you know, but for what I've put in this year, I need more, you know, and the biggest thing for me this year, I'm starting to believe in myself, and I think over the past few years I haven't. You know, there's a lot of things that can go into place, you know, the team, the people around you, and they give you confidence, but the 80% of it comes from in here, and, you know, if you don't believe in yourself, you might as well not even put fuel in the bike.
Mm-hmm. You've got a good teammate, you know, a cracking team, obviously Jackson Racing, good bikes, good teammate. Does that help?
Yeah, for sure it does. You know, like last year we had Julian Trummer on board, and, you know, I was the one that was setting the benchmark. You've got Josh, British champion. You know, he's won loads of races, so much experience, and I want a piece of that pie, what he has, to try and get something from it to benefit me. You know, at the end of the day, the number thing you want to do is beat your teammates, so the only way I can do that is lift the bar for myself, you know, and to have him there is amazing.
Well, I think I'm going to put a bet on you tomorrow. I think you'll be better than the top 10. I think you could be a wee bit closer. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I'd like to think so.
If you get your head right.
I'll be disappointed tomorrow.
And again, look, we ask everybody like that, but it must give you a great source of pride and encouragement whenever you take a look at the way the people turn out. And they're people are here from everywhere, all over the world, and they come here to meet the riders faithfully for this Coleraine Council event, and it's fantastic to have them, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I only live half an hour down the road, so to me, you know, this is as close as I get to having a local race, so it's incredible. Like, and as you say, the people come from all over the place. I think I've even seen a South African flag right in the corner there, and you know, it's brilliant.
Well, listen, I tell you what, we wish you every success tomorrow. I think all the local people here would love to see another local name becoming a really big name. Would that be correct? Are you going to stay and sign a few autographs as you go along? Ladies and gentlemen, come on, show your appreciation. Paul Jordan, fantastic. Thanks, buddy. Next up, Josh. Saying hello, and that's superb. Josh, what I tell you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you have been clapping all day and applauding, but I think this man deserves a warmer response than that. Come on to that. Josh Brooks, unbelievable. Come on. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Do you have anybody supporting you this week, apart from your own families and people like that? Does anybody come far afield to come and support you at the Northwest?
I was looking for God yesterday, but no, I had.
You were what? What about the new Pope? You know, he gave him a ring, said he says, like, hey, Pope Leo, he might help you tomorrow, you never know.
My sister actually come over to do some of her own studies and stuff like that with things she had, and it happened to be in this part of the world this period of time, so she's dropped in to visit the Northwest 200 and the first time ever watching me race bikes.
And what does she think of it all then? What does she think of the atmosphere, the whole extravaganza?
Well, she's been around me for my whole life, so she knows what I've been doing all this time, so it's not really a surprise, but yeah, she's just taken it all in.
And the Northwest, she's got a good welcome, has she?
Well, she thinks it's great because the sun's shining, and every time she's been here, it's been nice and warm.
Hey, make sure she comes next year, she might bring the sun, or what do you think, Steve? Go ahead there, where you go, Steve?
Josh, we were chatting the other day, you know, how many years you been coming here now?
Not as many as you probably would think. I rode here in 13 and the event got cancelled because of bad weather. I raced in 14 and then I was away for a long time until I come back in, I think it was 20 or 21 or something like that on the Ducati. I got a podium and then tried to come back on the FHO bike, but our bikes weren't legal and Faye took us away. So yeah, probably altogether about 3 or 4 years properly trying.
You've had an amazing career, you know, obviously World Championship, World Supersport, British Champion, British Superbike Champion, should I say, TT, you know, fast newcomer, and you still don't know your way around the last corner here. What's all that about?
I don't know. He's saying, I was speaking to Mitch Rees, who's a newcomer, and I was speaking about, you know, there's loads of people that when you're asking for advice, they'll be like, oh, the point where you've got to brake is here and the top speed's here and you've got to be in 5th gear by the time you get here, and none of that is really useful information when you're a newcomer because obviously you've got to go through the learning phase. And I was trying to explain to him, you know, don't be discouraged by when a corner feels awkward and a bit nervous because you haven't just got your braking right, you haven't just found the right apex point, you haven't just got the perfect line through it. And I was just saying and Steve was there in the conversation, I says, like, even the last corner coming in, I said I still can't find a real sweet spot there. I've never ridden through that corner and gone, oh yeah, I've got that just nailed. So it's just, I guess it's just a part of riding on the roads. It's not the same as short circuit racing. You can, you know, in 10 minutes you can do, you know, 12 laps or something of some of the short circuit courses. You know, where you know, it's a long old way around here and even further around the TT. So often you spend years of your career trying to master a single corner because you only get a few goes at it.
Well, Josh, you see this weather, do you prefer this weather suit you? Do you like this weather? Or see, some people prefer the wet. Do you prefer the dry?
I absolutely prefer this weather over any other kind. Yeah, this is fantastic.
But listen, what are your hopes then for tomorrow?
Well, that sort of has to be built up by what I've been experiencing this last couple of days. You know, we obviously I raced the Honda and British Superbikes, and you know it's a new a new bike to me, a new team to me this year. So we're sort of getting into the flow of things in BSB, and then I'm also trying to keep things consistent by racing a Honda at the Northwest 200 in TT, but albeit with a different team. So. The first time actually ever seeing the Supersport bike was when I arrived here the other day. So we set off on that bike and it was actually really nice, and the least amount of preparation had gone into that bike, and that was the one that was the most well behaved. The Superstock bike I rode at the Alton Park test, and I did maybe, within 6 laps of riding it, I was the fastest in the session. I was like, right, the bike's perfect, just put it in the truck, I'll be ready to go. And we spent loads of time working at the Superbike because obviously I've got a lot of understanding of the Superbike from BSB. So when I rode out on the Superbike, it was the worst behaved bike I have here, and the Superstock bike wasn't much behind it. So literally that opening Superbike race yesterday, you know, we've tried all sorts of things to get it to work, and it seems strange because you know, I took the BMW from BSB and basically came and rode it here and at the TT, and it didn't really do much with it, just carried on riding the same bike, where I've kind of tried to make this bike much like my BSB bike, and it's a disaster. You know, like I was riding around the open Superbike race looking, I I could maybe die in that corner, I could hit that thing, I could run off in that braking area, I might get, lose a leg over there. I wasn't looking at where I could maybe make a pass. I was just trying to think of all the things that might catch me out.
I'm smiling. I'm smiling at you. You're telling me I've never, and all the time for the riders up here, I've never anybody said to me, no, that bike was badly behaved. Yeah.
Honestly, I felt like an absolute beginner, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. I felt terrible out there. I didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't looking for a position to pass. I was just looking at a position to survive. And it's just sometimes motorbikes can be cruel. You know what I mean? 1 minute you're riding a bike, you're around, you're having a lovely time. Maybe not even winning a race, but you're having a good race, and you come back with a massive smile on your face. So I wasn't in that position yesterday.
I was going to ask you, see if you ever decide to come to the Northwest again, not right, you can take over his role, because you can, at least people understand what you say. If you're unbelievable for a start.
Oh, sorry about that. You have to forgive me, I'm an Australian.
Hey, I've got a question.
You're fantastic.
So you've been over this part of the world racing since 2009.
Yeah.
You've ridden, obviously, the old Hondas, new Hondas, Yamaha successfully, Ducati, BMW. What's the best superbike you've ridden?
The one I'd like to own the most and sit in my house and just look at it would be the Ducati. The one I probably enjoyed racing the most, I felt like I was most at reaching my best potential, was the 2015 Yamaha. Obviously that's a long time ago now already, but that was where I felt like I was perfectly at one with the bike in that time. There's been so many great motorbikes that I've ridden. I'm very blessed in that respect, but they've all got their own little quirks. None of them are ever perfect. They're always sort of they're good when
you're quite a fussy person.
Oh, yeah.
As on a motorbike. Sorry. Have you ever had a perfect bike?
No, never. That's what
I knew it.
No, there's no such thing as a perfect bike, because as soon as you get a bike that you're really happy with, you go a bit quicker and then you find a new problem. It's just the nature of the sport, but that's what keeps us keep going. That's that drive to keep finding the new limit is what keeps us engaged.
Well, George, I have to say to you that at the Briggs Equipment Northwest 200, I think we're privileged because we come across people of yourself, such calibre. We're dealing with superstars of the sport here, ladies and gentlemen, and we have yet another superstar here in the centre of Coleraine, ahead of the big race tomorrow, Northwest 200. This man is a dream when it comes to interviews. I'll have to tell you that compared to him. But I tell you what, I think we have to show our appreciation yet again, the one and only Josh Briggs. Come on, I want you to really give it all you've got. Are you going to stay and sign a few autographs?
I'll stay and sign a few autographs, but I want to finish on a more positive note. So,
all right, okay.
Obviously,
are you going to sing?
No, definitely not. I just wanted to finish by, obviously the Superbike race was really bad. I wasn't happy with that. Supersport was much better, but still not ideal. I went out in the Superstock race not hoping for much after the previous rides, and I come back after the sight lap. I was like, to the mechanics, I was like, what did you do to it? It's a different motorbike. So the beauty is that we've made some changes. It feels a lot better. I went from 12th up to 6th yesterday in the Superstock race, so felt like myself again on a bike, started to enjoy it, started to move forward, found some positions in the race. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully tomorrow's racing will be better and I can mix it nearer the front.
So what you're saying is you're one to watch for tomorrow?
Oh, I wouldn't say put money. I wouldn't say put money on me.
Oh, no, you said there you were one to watch for tomorrow.
I just said I wouldn't put money on me for the win, but hopefully I'm a more pleasant person to be around tomorrow with the results. So,
ladies and gentlemen, a quality rider and a gentleman.
Cheers, mate.
Guys, thanks very much indeed. God bless. Come on. Hey, how are you, Marcus?
Yeah, well, good, thank you.
Good. Where are you from, Marcus?
The Isle of Man, Douglas on the Isle of Man.
Well, look at the legs, kid. What do you think?
Bit bigger than yours.
I know they are, but you know, size isn't everything. They say size doesn't matter, Marcus. All right, I don't know, but there you go. Hey, you
leave a lion.
Hey, I tell you what, look at this. You brought the weather too, didn't you?
Yeah, it's not often you say that from the Isle of Man. You know, we have a bit of a funny climate. A bit like here, it tends to be always sunny up north, and bit rubbish everywhere else. So.
And did you enjoy last night? Are you looking forward to tomorrow? What's the latest with your team, yourself? How do you feel?
Yeah, so I joined a team called WH Racing this year, and it's fantastic to be a part of a team like them. They share the same philosophy as me: work hard, play hard, and everything's going really well. Yesterday I finished 13th in the stock race and 15th in the superbike race, and you know, with the calibre of riders on the grid, I'm very happy with where we are.
Yeah, we were told of Paul Jordan, he was disappointed to be in the top 10, and yet whenever you look at the calibre of the lineups, we were just talking about it to Steve, like there's real quality in every single race. Whenever you look at the grid, I tell you what, it's a tough grid, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a fierce grid. There's no doubt about it. You know, you're racing against the best in the world, and look, a top 10 at the Northwest would be fantastic. This is only my second Northwest, and last year I crashed at the Macroboy chicane, so I'm just sort of building back into things at the minute because I'm struggling riding in a group with the way that I had a crash last year was to do with the slipstream and another rider sort of sucking me in, so just struggling a little bit with being in a group, so I'm kind of happy on my own, but it'll come.
But I tell you what, you were a newcomer last year, and now this is your second year. How did he do? He was meant to be looking after the newcomers. Well, was he good or was he a wee bollocks, or what was he like? Well, he is a wee bollocks, but what was he like?
Be honest.
Be honest, go on, just tell the people, was he any good or not?
Yeah, Steve's fantastic, you know. He's fantastic. He also does a great enduro tour in Spain, so if anyone wants in on that.
Do you see the rest of your answer? He didn't hear it. All he heard was Steve's fantastic, isn't it? And look, what I tell you, I often talk about the fans, and we looked at the pictures provided by BBC all over. Thousands of people out there supporting this fantastic event. It's a magnificent event. Someone night of man, you'll appreciate the Northwest for us because you would know what it's like over there.
Yeah, 100%. You know, like that's why I love being involved with the Northwest because, as you say, it's a fantastic event. The racing is, I think, the racing is a bit secondary to the event sometimes. You know, it's brilliant.
Saying that.
I think it is a little bit.
Well, you Danny Coy's
I think the Anchor's the main event, but look, it's brilliant. The event that Mervyn and the team put on, it's fantastic, and the racing is fantastic as well. The TT and the Northwest are two completely different things. You know, obviously TT is against the time. Northwest, it's elbow to elbow, bar to bar. So yeah, they're two different things, and both have very different specialities.
You were just saying a little bit earlier, you know, about obviously a moment last year, you know, jumping off and so on, coming back, and maybe a little bit nervous in that environment with a lot of riders, and you know, it's taking you a little bit of time to get your foot back in the door. But I know this year, Josh mentioned it, you know. It seems to be really dusty this year, which you can't do anything about. The roads have been swept and swept and swept, taking the newcomers around. I could hardly see them in the mirrors. Is that part of the negativity, you know, when you're going around, when you're in a big crowd?
Well, first of all, I didn't jump off, I fell off, you know, I didn't intentionally come off the bike. But yeah, the first practice, Dean and Nathan come past me actually through Macroboy, and then on the way down to Metropole, I could just see dust. I couldn't see them. But no, look, if it wasn't dust, you'd be complaining about the rain, so I'm quite happy, you know, the dust can be cleared, and it was much better last night, once the bikes have been through a few times. Wednesday was particularly bad, and maybe a bit Thursday morning, but I think the Super Twins sorted that out, and yeah, it's fine now.
Are your race bikes more reliable than your dirt bikes?
I hope your
Marcus, just
Northwest are more reliable than your tours. How is your man? Is he okay?
He's alright, he's fit.
Well, look, I tell you what, it's your second year here, and I hope that it's going to be many, many years that you come here to grace us with your presence at the Briggs Equipment Northwest 200, because without the likes of you, we really have no event, so we appreciate you coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. He knows what it's all about. So appreciate the Marcus, you're going to sign a few autographs tonight. Yeah, thank you very much. God bless. Good luck. Next up. Yeah, Beltram. Javier. This will be good, Javier, come over here, please. Don't never mind him. He's just a warm-up act.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Where's your accent?
My accent? That's from England, isn't it?
Happy, where are you from?
Father was from Spain.
Anything else you want to tell us, or is just one word answer?
You seem a little bit. You seem a little bit kind of.
Just a wee bit pensive.
Just relax a little bit. Just chill out. All these people have come to listen to you. Just relax.
You're here among friends, so we are. He isn't here among friends. Yes. There, you hear that? Well, Javi, the Northwest. Do you like it?
No, I do. I think it's an amazing event. It's unbelievable what they've done and what they have continued to do over the years here. This year with the weather, it's been amazing. You know, I was driving around a lap on Tuesday and I called Mervyn and said, like, you know, what they've done at McAvoy chicane there, moving the box and the fence back and everything there, which, you know, we were on to him about 6-7 years ago about doing that. He said, oh, we'll get it done, but it might take a bit of time. You know,
it's heavy.
But Javi, you're talking there about the. I almost look at the Northwest as the team effort, you know, because the amount of volunteers we have and the amount of people who spend hours to ensure that this is an event that has a massive, big welcome for the likes of yourself, and we always pride ourselves on the fact that we think the welcome's special. I hope you would agree with that. Do you think the welcome's good at the Northwest?
Definitely, and look, like you said, look at all the volunteers that are around the circuit, and not only just for this week, but all year round that are involved with all the preparation and everything. People don't realise that, you know, the amount of work that goes into it. I mean, I think, you know, there's 49 manholes that have been replaced and recovered and everything. There's certain parts of the track that's all been re-tarmacked. That's not just, you know, a 10-minute job, is it?
It's just come with the job, is right.
Right, let's forget all the nonsense. So we've had Dean up and John. You know, Dean had a good night last night, really. You know, they're complaining about one or two things with the bike. You've got obviously the weight of Honda Racing on your shoulders. I suppose really my question is, how does it feel to get beat last night?
I think I was probably
Which is
more
not being disrespectful.
No. I was probably more disappointed for Dean. You know, I really felt, because Dean has been doing an amazing job on the 600. He's been strong from testing, coming into BSB, teammate with Jack Kennedy, and as you alluded to earlier, you know, Jack's 5 times British champion, and Dean's been on it, you know, in BSB, and to come over here, practice and everything else was all pretty good. But when it comes down to the race, which is where it counts, we got beat, you know, and that's where you've got to sort of sit back and look at where we need to improve for here and for the future.
What's it like to work with Dean?
Dean's great, yeah, and John. They're both very good. They're passionate, they're methodical, and you know, they'll have a think about it as well, and not only changes to the bike, it's changes to them and what they can do to help make the package work.
You know, when I said to the guys, obviously you've got the weight of Honda Racing on your shoulders, just kind of explain a bit your lifestyle, because it's a massive, huge team, a big setup, you know, very professional, of course, but there's an awful lot going on in your world with British Championship, with all the road racing, and you know, including the Isle of Man TT. It's a huge task, annual task for you.
It's a big team. You know, we've got sort of 35 team members, if you like, when we turn up at a BSB event, and 15 team members here over in the Northwest, and then a bigger posse, if you like, at the TT. So, you know, we've got the BSB, Supersport, Superbike, and then we have the roads, which are classed Northwest and the TT. And then also running out of Louth, we've got the development team, which we are working with HRC and Japan with the development of the Fireblade, and that is to support World Superbike with EQ and Lil Como.
You know, Honda are fans, obviously, of this event, of the Northwest 200, and, you know, they supply the Marshall bikes and so on. Why is that?
I just think, you know, over the years, when you look back from Joey and Philip McCallum and the history, if you like, going back 25, 30 years here, there's still been a huge Honda present. And as long as we keep engaging and working with the organisers and representatives, if you like, with the Northwest, that will continue. It's just went through some difficult times, as you spoke earlier, to do with insurance and everything else, but that's life as well. Look at we all have that in our own day-to-day life.
Well, I was saying now, have you the next you bringing your team? Must be difficult to get a book in one of the restaurants. 35 of a team. I would have thought we'd hard to get in there.
It's impossible to get into a restaurant.
Just mention his name, you have no chance. But there you go. But look, we really appreciate all your courtesy, and we appreciate you coming here as well, because we know it's busy to put a whole thing together like that, and you come out to talk to the fans here like that. And I think they really appreciate the fact that you take time out of your schedule to come and say hello to them too. I think we do agree with that, folks, don't we? Yes, exactly. Well, Howie, thank you very, very much indeed. I wish you continued success. I hope it goes well for you tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day's racing and a safe day's racing.
Thank you very much.
And the next time I bring you on the stage, don't be so nervous. Like, I know you're in awe of him, but we'll be all right. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Howie, thank you very much indeed. God bless. Lovely. Next up, a man who was on the podium. Come on. I see you've been signing a few autographs. You'll sign a few more whenever you're finished with this, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
That's okay. And great to have you. As you said last night, whenever you always come over to the podium or to the marquee to talk to everybody there in hospitality, and I said, well, I see you in Coleraine, you said, definitely. You said it was one of the highlights. You love to get out here and say hello to everybody. And I think people appreciate seeing you, Richard. I think that's correct, isn't it? Yeah. Fantastic. Now, you'll be looking to improve your podium position tomorrow, won't you?
Yeah, I have a couple of opportunities come tomorrow. I've got 3 races, 2 Super Twin, and that Super Sport race that was very interesting last night in more ways than one. But hopefully we can go one better on Saturday. And you know, we all watched the race, and we're all fully aware of how it unveiled.
I know, more ways than one. You should be in the diplomatic corps. That's amazing. Could you describe to people what you mean by more ways than one, like a wee bit, without going too much in the nitty-gritty?
I'm not taking nothing away from the rivals. You know, it was a great race. I did everything I could to be at the front at every opportunity. I wasn't quite prepared for the speed of the Ducati to pass me on the last lap. It took me by surprise. His timing was perfect. You know, it didn't give me an opportunity to respond to the speed of the bike, and I really didn't get a chance to study where he was quick, let's say, compared to when I was battling with Davey when we was back and forth. So, yeah, Michael, he took advantage of us. He deserved the win. We are, in all honesty, we don't have much more to come from my R6, and I don't believe we need to get much more from it. Perhaps just a little bit better track positioning come Saturday. Hopefully should see us. I would really like a Super Sport win to add to the one I achieved last year.
I listened to you, to look at you, and I've talked to you a lot of times. I think you learn a wee bit from last night going into Saturday.
It's difficult. I think you never stop learning. I think Steve would agree with me at the Northwest 200. You think you've got the circuit dialed, you think you've got your braking markers, and then somebody does something different to what you're doing, and whether they're faster on the entry or maximise the exit, you know, there's no such thing as the perfect line, should I say, around here, because it's so wide open. And each year I try and improve on myself, and I feel like we're doing that. You know, I feel like I rode better than ever last night. Second was the best we could do.
Coops, you know, obviously talking about lines in the circuit and learning, you know, the course has changed here slightly. You've been working behind the scenes, overlooking at it and so on. Obviously the link road's different, the approach into Ballysally roundabout. Does that take a little bit? I know it's the same for everybody. Does that take a little bit to get at one with before you can get on the pace?
I feel the improvements are a massive improvement. You know, Steve, sort of the first lap from the link road up until the roundabout, it took me almost a sighting lap to realise that, okay, the grip level was good, the track was in theory the same sort of layout that it already was, albeit opened up a little bit in a few areas. And you know, we can't rest on any lap, Steve. You know, so once you've had a good sighting lap 2, we attacked it as we always do, and you know, the lap time has improved slightly for our class, not by a massive amount. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's come from the link road. It might have come from another part of the circuit, but I feel the improvements that the Northwest 200 guys do year in, year out is only making it better and safer for us riders.
You've been around a long time now, you know, you've won a lot of championships and a lot of races and various different things, and even though, you know, you look like you haven't even started shaving yet.
That's right.
But
he's not even a drinking age, he's only 14 for God's sake.
What else is on Coops' hit list to achieve before... I'm not saying you need to be retiring soon because you're still flipping fast and winning, but what else is on your hit list that you want to achieve before you knock it on the head?
I honestly don't know, Steve. You know, I started this year off in America at Daytona 200, something that I really enjoy doing, something that I've almost achieved, you know, a podium there the past 2 years.
You don't see a lot of frustration, sorry to butt in, you don't see a lot of frustration from Coops, you were frustrated there.
Yeah, you know, year one, I crashed out of contention. Year two, the bike broke out of contention. And when you put so much effort into something that's so early in the year, you know, Daytona 200 is in March, so we prepare really early. And then you come back and then you realise that the BSB's not even started and you've almost ticked off one of the big objectives of the year before March is even over with. So I would really like to go back there. I'm fortunate enough that Peter Hickman, you know, a competitor of mine, takes me on board in his team, pays for me to go. Probably going to keep my prize money if I ever finish. But you know, I would really like to achieve something there. The Northwest 200 is a special place, especially when the sun shines. And I wasn't that bothered about returning to BSB. However, we had a small conversation in the BMW Park, Ferme, Alton Park, and you mentioned to me that a good friend of mine put a lap time in. And your words were, that's how you ride a lap, and that's how you put a lap time in. And you might have just lightened something in my head that I might need to come back and perhaps ride the BMW F900, which is a one-make series.
I knew it would.
That Steve yet again is part of. He changes his t-shirt and he entices me in because the prize money is great, and I love a bit of prize money.
Well, Richard, I have to tell you that we really appreciate you coming because you always give back. Whenever you come to this event, you come, you say hello to people like that. I know you'll learn. Can we expect a couple of good jewels tomorrow from you then? You'll be right up there.
Yeah, I mean, not just my class, you know, we can see that the competition, nobody can draw a winner until that last lap, and I feel the Super Twin race on Saturday, the Super Sport race, Saturday afternoon, I would like to be on the podium in all three races. I really want to win. In all honesty, I don't mind which class it comes from. You know, I want to taste the champagne from the top step, but it's not going to be easy, and I will be giving it everything I've got for sure.
So we'll see you in the marquee tomorrow.
If I'm on that podium, there's no doubt I'll be in that marquee.
I know
tomorrow.
you will. For that, you're always a good fella, lad. Richard, you're going to stay and sign a few autographs. Ladies and gentlemen, sure, appreciate Richard Cooper. Come on, we're getting near the end of the show, but we have two people here. You might know them. I'll give them. Not sure, is he? Oh, here he comes, yes. Oh, come on, and another... Peter Hickman! Yeah. What about you, kid? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you very much. I thought it was funny that Coops thought he could keep his prize money. I do the entry and I put my bank account in there.
Is there any money in your bank account, is there?
Not anymore.
Well, hey, tell you what, I don't know if Steve's got a bank account because he never uses his card, he never buys anything. Like, you know. When's the last year you bought a drink?
I just use yours.
Oh, exactly. I know that. I'm sorry. Oops. I know that. Peter, it's great to have you back. Great to have you here. It's great to the Northwest because you're almost a part of the furniture, I would suggest, you know. And you can tell by the reaction of the fans, they really appreciate you being here as well.
Do you know what? It's really good to be back. You know, this is I did my first Northwest in 2014, so this is 11 years on now. Obviously, we missed a couple with COVID and stuff, but yeah, I've been coming in here for a long time and always enjoy it, always get a good reception, which is fantastic. Enjoy riding around the Northwest 200 circuit. The Coast Road in particular is one of the most special pieces of tarmac in the world. It's such an awesome place. That bit from the Metropole all the way down to York Corner for me is unbelievable to ride, and I always have a massive smile on my face whenever I get to go and ride a 200-mile-an-hour stupid bike down there.
Steve, that's some compliment, isn't it, to say it's one of the finest pieces of road in the world?
He knows.
Yeah, I probably disagree with one corner.
Which one might that be, mate?
You were told you were told not to mention that, weren't you, before you got on this, and you were given the brief, but there you go.
No, it is, especially in these, you know, with this weather now, it's fabulous, it really is. But so Pete, it's been a tough time, obviously, through the winter. You've had to dig deep, obviously, with your teammate, you know, but it's really been hands-on for you, graft right up to the last week before Oldham Park BSB.
It's still grafted now, actually. Yeah, it's everything changed in February, which was kind of on the cards, but we weren't sure which way it was going to go. There was a lot of conversations right from kind of November onwards. But the truth is that the team had changed a little bit internally, and myself, well, I definitely wasn't happy with what had changed, and the people that were presented to replace them people I wasn't happy with. So I thought, well, what's the point in riding for a team that I'm not happy to be in? So I ended up walking away, and it turns out Davey did the same thing. And to be quite honest, we both walked away not knowing what we were going to do with ourselves. So it was only afterwards that we sat down around a table, literally as casually as you like, over a cup of coffee with a few of the team members, or previous team members if you like, and said, what can we do, what should we do, which direction do we want to go in? And it turns out we all had the same theory and the same thought. So after probably a couple of hours of sitting down and chatting about what we think is the best thing to do, we set up a company that night and started our own race team.
Well, you think about that, you know, like, everybody loves a trier, the world loves a trier, and you know, some of the best circumstances are actually forced onto you. And now when you look back at it, maybe it was a blessing in disguise for you, because here you are now, look where you are, in a far better probably position.
100%, yeah. Do you know what the big thing with it is? We're taking control of our own destiny now. We haven't got somebody else telling us what we can and can't do. We haven't got somebody else deciding whether they're going to sign us for the next year or not. We co-own the team 50-50. We co-own the company 50-50, and we are in charge of our own destiny. So, you know, it's up to us. The effort that we put into it, we'll get back out of it, and we're both putting the effort in. The whole team membership's all putting the effort in as well. The team's been absolutely fantastic. You know, to start a British Superbike and road racing, international road racing team from scratch in February, to be here at the Northwest 200 only kind of 9 weeks later, I think it is now, is a pretty amazing achievement. We've actually had a lot of compliments from a lot of the other teams that have obviously been there, done that, and they know exactly what it's all about to get everything ready. And the fact that the team's done it in them kind of 2 months is pretty damn impressive.
Well, look, I tell you what, I wasn't being rude walking behind you there, because I just got instructions from the rest of the people behind the scenes working very hard. And he's down signing autographs, so I'm going to give a very special welcome, I'm sure you will too, the one and only Davey Todd. Come on! Hey! Not bad, those days. What do you reckon? Not the worst. Hey, you were on the podium yesterday. As always, you came across, and the punters love to see you like that, and you got the result. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm over the moon to get that elusive Superbike win that I've been chasing for a few years now. And Glenn keeps pipping me for it every single time for the last few years, but getting closer and closer every year, and gutted that Glenn isn't racing obviously this year, and we couldn't have been doing battle again, but I got enough on my plate with these other boys anyway. Everybody's going so fast at the moment, it's always a challenge.
I tell you what, I take the sunglasses. What do you reckon? What about those? What about the sunglasses, eh? Hey, yeah, look the part. Hey, let me see that.
Now you love the part.
What do you reckon? Hang on, no, hey, I need to get something else for you.
I don't know how you can see anything out of these dirty ass.
Here we go. What about that? Well-known local paramilitary. What do you reckon? What about that? Only joking, tell you the truth.
Hey, Davey, we're just talking about...
Did you say my glasses were dirty? I mean, Brian clean those.
Hey, we're just talking about the startup of 810, obviously, and it's been a long old winter. Obviously, the dust has settled now. First BSB, and then here to the Northwest. I suppose really the question I'm asking is, you know, you're obviously getting on very well because, you know, with the setup and feeling quite relaxed, but how good does it feel last night to beat your teammate?
Obviously, it's always good. It's always good to do that. But
all right, let him speak.
Turn his microphone off.
It's obviously really good, but at the same time, like, it's a complete new thing for me to have that experience, and I don't think there's many can say they've had that experience, but to be absolutely stoked that, you know, we're both on the podium there and we're both like core team owners at the end of the day. Like, so from the almost like team owners perspective, you look and go, how awesome is it that we're both on the podium together, and our first outing as a new team that was set up such a short time ago. It's you know, I keep saying, but just credit to all the guys who put in so much work. Us two really can't take that much credit for it. I said last night, but we put on a few stickers on the bike, and we do as much as we can behind the scenes. We put a few stickers on the bike, which then had to get taken back off because Darren, our team manager, said they were that shit that they had to redo them. But yeah, the guys have worked so hard over the last 8 weeks to pull this together, and to be able to first time out on the roads put both bikes on the podium is a perfect start really for us.
So when Pete beats you, is it going to be called 10-8?
But David, can I ask you a question now? That, you know, the pressure's off you to an extent after last night. Will that ease yourself going forward? Do you think there's more in you? There's more victories in you after you've got the first one basically over the line? You know, a lot of sports people always talk about if you get the first one, it eases a lot of the pressure. You know what I mean? And he'd have to say to you through gritted teeth again, "Well done, David." You know.
No, it's not really a case of that. Like, I've got a few Northwest wins in other classes anyway, and of course Superbike is the one that you want to win, but you know, they're all pretty important, and yeah, it didn't feel so much like that, and for sure we want more. For sure, I think for both of us there's a lot more in it. I'm sick of sort of beating the drum, but we've had like 0 testing, so this is literally testing for us. We've had no practice on the bikes. Our first practice was the first round of BSB at the weekend, so we've had literally no time on the super. That was the only time that we've had on the superbike, and then the super stock bikes didn't turn a wheel before Wednesday, and I think we did 2 laps on Wednesday.
Yesterday in the end, yeah. Yesterday it was just super stock class. Obviously only got out yesterday. We didn't get to run on Wednesday, did we? So the super stock bikes were both brand spanking new yesterday. We had to go and bed the brake discs in and everything. So yeah. And obviously we ended up 4th and 5th in the race, which wasn't quite the result we were looking for, but Davey was leading at the time. I had to go on at Macroboy and put my foot down, which was also always an awesome feeling in a race when you have to come to an absolute complete stop. But yeah, it's overall the speed's there on every bike that we've got, even though we've had no testing, so I think that really bodes well for the future.
Well, I was going to ask you just a question, not even with regard to the bikes. Do you two lads realise just how popular you are here? How do the people think of you? Really? Do you ever realise? Yeah, don't they? What about these are 2 of our? You know, sometimes you know you're doing it, you're concentrating and you're doing things like that, and then these people like us are a wee bit removed from it to tell you just how like you saw yourself. You came into the podium or into the marquee last night, raving about you. You saw the reception you get there. That must give you a lift when you come over here, lads.
It really does, and for a long time I've spent a lot of time over here racing the national roads and stuff at the beginning of my road racing career, and I love it over here, and it always feels like a home race. Like when I come over here, I know I'm not a home rider, but it really feels like that. I always feel like I get a bunch of support, more than I expect to get, and yeah, it's just really nice. The fans are always, you know, some of the best in the world when you come to the Northwest, especially, and when you come to Northern Ireland. So I love coming over here, and I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, exactly the same for me. You know, I've been coming here, like we said, for a good time now, and always had a mega reception from everybody. I've always had fun times at the Northwest, even though there's been a lot of controversy over the years, one way or another. I always seem to find some bad luck along the way, on and off track, so it appears.
Things happen.
But that's life, and I still enjoy coming back, and like I say, I still get a fantastic reception. I always feel very, very welcome to be here, and I'm always really happy to be here as well.
Well, you know, the thing gets me about it, I know you said the wee line that you're not really a home rider, but I would suggest, ladies and gentlemen, these 2 lads are as close to being home riders, I think. We'll call them adopted riders. What do you reckon? Yeah. Now, what I want you to do is to stay here. Stephen Davison is coming up to get a photograph with you. Stevie, you coming up? Here's a hard-working CB Davis, and we want to get a photograph, which we use in the annual every year, and we're going to get the people behind all cheering. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you want? Where I talked. You want to do after 3 arms in the air?
Yes.
Okay, after 3, I need you all your hands in the air and giving a wee bit of, giving it what for, folks. Okay, after 3, 2, 1, let me see, practice. No, do it again. Here we go. Give it all you've got. 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful. Thank you.
All we can do is hope and pray to God and focus and on him, but there you go. Anyway, next up, listen, hey, look at these 2 claims here. Next up, a man who needs no introduction. Jeremy. Jeremy, what about you? You want to do? You just do whatever. You're the boss here. You know what you're doing.
No, you're the boss, though.
No, I'm not.
No, you're the boss. I gotta do what you say.
What I tell you? Hey, how many centuries have you been riding at the Northwest here now?
It's only been 1 decade and a couple of years. Started in 2012 at the Northwest, but I've been coming for centuries.
I swear to God, hey, and look, what I tell you, people just, they can't get over the fact that you're here. They love seeing you here, and you give so much back. And I see, look, there's a man that you always like to mention too, the best.
Yes,
but he's always very good to you and good to the event.
I'm a little bit late today. We obviously keeping our lovely sponsors on board, playing golf at Royalport Rush today. With Norman Kerr's Tires.
How'd you get in there?
Oh, because Norman Kerr got me in.
He wasn't invited there.
So I only got 10 holes because I come see you.
Oh, did they?
That was good.
So
yeah.
I ruined your day. Is that what you're saying?
In other words, yes, you did.
Steve, what about this man here? Hey.
Mate, someone else, isn't he?
Never see there, Steve.
Never stops getting slower, really, and just he's been around since flipping the year dot.
And didn't have a great super sport race last night. Honestly, I gave myself a really bad starting position, so it's got to get better tomorrow. And the little super twins going pretty good, so we changed the Aprilia this year, and it's working pretty good. So hopefully, fingers crossed for good results tomorrow.
Why do you keep going?
I mean, why would you not keep doing this, honestly? Why does Louis keep standing up here? He loves it.
And no, that's good crack. He
loves the crack. I love the crack of the Northwest. I love coming up here. Honestly, when we have a place up here, like a small cabin. When you come over that hill and you're driving down towards the Royal Court Hotel, I mean, you go into relax mode. It's the same for me, the Northwest. I love getting the format works very well for us. Tuesday we got to play golf again with Kerr's Tires. Then worked all night Tuesday.
Sorry, hang on a second. Did you mention Kerr's Tires there? I just want to make sure you...
All night then we worked at the bikes because I had to play golf with Kerr's. Anyway, Wednesday, I mean, Tom Booth-Amos has done me an unbelievable favour. He phoned a buddy of his on the Isle of Man because our super sport bike didn't turn up. Long story short, some parts didn't arrive to rebuild the top end of it. So Tom Booth-Amos, who I manage in Supersport, he's lying third in the World Championship right now, but 2 seconds in Cremona. He phoned a buddy in the Isle of Man. He put the bike, an R6 that I rode yesterday, on the boat on Wednesday night. It went over to Liverpool, and Tom's dad, Brian, drove it all the way up to Coleraine, brought it over, arrived at the paddock at 6:30 in the morning, and the boys got stuck into it, and it was on track and finished the race, and it hasn't turned a wheel in 3 years.
That's amazing, like, isn't it? But you're...
Can I bring him up then?
Oh yes, bring him up, definitely. Bring him up,
Tom. Come on up. Tom Booth-Amos, everybody.
Come on, give a bit of a cheer here. Come on, lads. Come on into the middle. He was telling you your life story there. Very, very nice to see you. So you've had a interesting couple of days.
Well, he was the tiredest I've ever seen him last night because he was working on the bike all day. He usually races bikes, doesn't work on them. Honestly, and they did an outstanding job. Tom and Dan, his brother, and Brian, his father, basically, and some of our boys to help in between, they basically put the 600 together in no time. And we didn't get it quite right in qualifying. Just didn't have the right map in it. But it went really, really well in the super sport race. I just need to get through and get on the front bunch, and I think it's a top 6 bike.
Well, so Stephen, it shows what you do. You know, everybody looks and they come along to the event and they say it's great, and everybody's there in the grid, and they never hear half the stories of the agony and the trauma and the hard work to get on that grid.
Well, where was the bike, Tom? How did it come about?
I feel the trauma, honestly. It was, so long story short, the bike was in the Isle of Man, and he said, yeah, feel free, if you can get it to here, then you can use it. So we got a friend of mine put it on the boat, took it to Heysham, then my dad got it from Heysham, took it to Scotland, and then got here yesterday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning.
It's not amazing. What a bit of hey, Steve, what an effort.
Hey, so listen, obviously you're having a cracking year so far, riding really well, World Championship, you know, and doing a great job. Give him a round of applause. He's proper on it. What's it like? Obviously this man's been in Grand Prix for years and, you know, for a long, long time. But what's he like to work with? Does he give you a lot of earache? Is he always on the phone yipping and yapping and pissing you off? And
most of the time.
You can't answer it because we'll not tell anybody. We'll only tell 2 people, Protestants and Catholics. Sure, right? We'll not be telling anybody here. Go ahead there. Does he give you a chip?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how the weekend's going. Yeah. No, I mean, I think most people know now Jeremy's been helping me for, I think, 6 years. And he's kind of got me to where I am now. So obviously for me to help him in some way this week, it's quite cool.
It's definitely payback this weekend because he's worked harder than he's ever worked in his life.
Yeah, exactly. I said last night, honestly, I'm never having a 9 to 5. It's done me in. I'm never working again.
So what about the Northwest? You ever fancy
I've been trying to get him to
fancy
come.
some laps?
I've been trying to get him to come and do it.
I was just saying earlier, Scott Redding's here, he's blown away with the course and the circuit and kind of sniffing at it, and there's been quite a few riders this week actually that Mervin's been taking around in the pace car and that are kind of all showing a lot of interest to have their first race.
Yeah, obviously one day I think my mind will change and I'll go, yeah, okay, let's...
Well, like when you're my age?
Yeah.
Just don't be a that long, son. But here, Jeremy, you know, you talked a thing there, and I look at all sport, and a lot of people who achieve at sport, they have that smoothness, and I've watched you for years, and whenever you're on form and when you're riding to your best, it is a bit like silk. You're going around very smooth, you're hitting the right corners like that.
Just slowly silk.
Yeah. No. Well, I was trying to be nice to you. Jesus, hey.
No, I still love the Northwest. Honestly, there's nothing like the Northwest. Honestly, some visitors have come over this year. A friend of mine from Canada who I met in Moto America, as you said, you know, some riders that have turned up and just been blown away by it because it is so different. It's like, it's just nothing compares to it. You know, I mean, Daytona maybe compares to it a little bit when it's got banking, so the walls are quite close, but that's the only comparison there is on any other track that I can think of.
Well, you see, there's a word there that we look for in occasions, and I use it all the time, and people are fed up listening to me. I maintain it's the welcome. You get a welcome, and John McGuinness said the first thing when he ever arrived here with Billy Nutt and Mervyn White, and the first thing shook their hand and said, we're delighted to have you here. And I think the welcome we have from the people here, and not just locally, I'm talking about bike fans, give their heroes and their superstars a fantastic welcome. Makes them very special people.
We meet, you know, we're up here a lot more now, though we're up here most weekends when we can make it. And honestly, the visitors that we meet quite a lot in the Bayview or the Bush House or the Bruce Mills Hotel, there's a lot of visitors come, and I keep asking them, you know, what do you think of it? Because you want to know, you want to hear the feedback, and they all say the people here are by far and away the best they've ever met anywhere in the world, and they keep coming back. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have such a good tourist. You know, tourism's, you know.
And I think it's fantastic. But listen, this event, I was saying it earlier on, I know you were out playing golf, Royal Board Rush. 1.4 million it cost to keep the event going, and Brian and I were plugging it earlier on. If people can buy a programme, we need to keep this going. This event needs to get better. There's the huge improvements this year. We got money in from Stormont and the executive, from Keith Archibald was one who put money in, Gordon Lyons. These are, they don't have their own money, but their department. It looks as if Stormont is now actually, at long last, catching up and giving the money that this event deserves to help out for health and safety.
Well, I mean, you can't. It's one of these events that's got to keep going. It is our, you know, it's the pinnacle. I feel it brings more people over the time than the Open ever will, because we keep repeating it year on year. And there's 100,000 people lined up around the circuit here on good days like this. So, I mean, I could only encourage the councils to support it and keep supporting it. And whatever it costs to run, it's too little. We need to keep putting more into it.
Are you going to stay a wee bit and do a few autographs or bring it? And yourself.
We're going back to work at bikes.
No, I was going to say, I'm looking at an extension built on the house. Will you call around when we do it overnight? Will you someday? Look, thank you very, very much indeed. God bless you.
Thanks, Steve.
As always, legend. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. And I think our very last one we have, who's been waiting patiently, supporters at the Briggs Equipment International Northwest 200, Alistair Seeley. Oh, come on, give him a... It's great to have him back. Welcome back, Alistair. What about you, kid? How are you?
Not too bad. Good to see you again.
That's great to see you. Tell you
Good to be back in the sunshine.
How are you keeping?
Keeping very well. Until last night in the race, obviously. We had an engine failure, so yeah, it was terminal. It was quite a big one in the Mill Road roundabout. Didn't get too many corners done, so we were flying up to that point. We qualified very well. We were doing good lap times. We were very competitive, so just one of these things in motorbike racing. You got to take the highs with the lows. The boys have slotted an engine in for tomorrow. It's on the dyno at the minute, and then tomorrow I'll hopefully get a run out after the Super Twins do a formation lap. Just give it a lap just to make sure everything's okay, and then regroup and go again.
I laugh at you, the highs and lows. My God, you've had plenty of highs around here, haven't you?
Yeah, unreal. I've never actually stopped to think about this whole 29 thing, but I suppose when you look at the other riders and where they are, and obviously Michael's clicked off 2 last night. Once you start getting 2s and 3s, if you start getting them every year, they soon add up. So yeah, I'm looking for number 30. We had 3 chances last night, ruled one out. Supersport Kawasaki, I think we're just down a little bit in speed, so we need some of the wee Wizards magic dust and sprinkle it over, trying to make it fast for tomorrow. But I kind of could see the lead group in Supersport just in front of me, but I couldn't do anything about it. I just seemed to be losing on the straight. But tomorrow's a new day. Hopefully Nick Morgan is on the telemetry, the laptop, working his magic, and tomorrow we can go out and try again.
Steve, do you think he's a good thing for a 30? What do you reckon? Do you think he'll get there, Handy?
I mean, he's alright, 29, yeah, it's alright. Hey, listen, you're riding the super stock bike in the super bike class. That's where it went pop yesterday. But realistically, where was you looking? What was your target yesterday for that race?
Well, I know in amongst the superbikes and the speed traps, we were probably down about 5 miles an hour. So you know what it's like if you can just sit in behind that bubble and get dragged along. I was probably just going to try and hang in there till the very end, but looking at the race last night from the sidelines, I could see that there was that first 4, and then there was a bit of a gap to the next one, so I probably would have tried to slot myself in somewhere around there.
And would you say the stock is going to be your best race tomorrow?
Yeah, looking like it. The lap times I can kind of click off quite competitive. Looking at the race last night, lap times are very similar, so yeah, we hope to Superstock will probably be the one, yeah.
Well, look, I'm not going to delay you too long because the people have been here a long time in the heat. They want to get out and get a bit of suntan. I'm hoping you're going to get the 30. I'm confident you'll get 30. Listen, with it, we was just no bother.
Stick a wee bet on.
But all I can say, wee bet, right? Put it on McLean's.
That's right.
But look, I tell you what, it's always a delight when you come up to do it because you always add to the occasion. And I said there's some riders who do it more than others. You always give back when you come to the Northwest. You're always trying to come out, talk to the fans, do your bit. And I think it's fantastic. You don't agree with that? That's what we need. We need that.
I had a bit of a sweat on actually because I had to go to Tides and do the promotional sponsor thing there. Then I had to go to Linus, and I was like, what time does this happen to meet the greet in Coleraine Town Centre? Like, finishes at 2:30, and I was like doing a lap of the town, trying to work our way in. It was like 20 past 2 or whatever. I was like, right, 10 minutes to get in here.
And what we're allowed to get
in through the back door and out here. But it's nice to see everybody again. Obviously the weather's going to stick with us tomorrow, and hopefully we can put on a great show for everybody, and yes, hopefully we can tick off that number 30.
Well, all I can say to you is that over the years you have given us so many great shows. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the real superstars we have at this fantastic event. Alistair Seeley, he's just a fantastic lad. What a great rider, what a talent. Isn't it great to have him back? And let's hope he gets number 30 tomorrow. Alistair, thank you very, very much indeed. God bless you. Thank you. I just want to say, Connolly of Event AV, who has been giving us all the sound effects today. I want to thank all the team in Coleraine Borough Council for, or is it, no, it's not Coleraine, what is it called? Causeway, Coast and Glens. Causeway, Coast and Glens for all the work they have done. I want to thank Brian, who comes along and does an awful lot of that hard work behind the scenes and doesn't get enough credit for it. I appreciate that. I'd like to thank every single rider and every team member who's been here. They've just been incredible. I want to thank the media for covering it. I want to thank Cura Tires. I want to thank the Briggs Equipment, Northwest 200. But most of all, I want to thank a mate of mine who we bunk together every time we come along to the International Northwest 200. The man's a legend on the bike on his day. He's a legend off it as well. The one and only, here he is. Come on, Steve. Steve Peter. Come on out, Steve. Thank you very much. Thank you. Come on, put your hands together for Steve Peter. Yes. So that's it. That's it. We'll enjoy ourselves tomorrow. God's willing, we're going to keep the weather, which we are, and let's look for safe racing. And all I can say, thank everybody else, but thank you so much for turning out and staying in the sunshine. We really appreciate it. You're the best in the world. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. God bless. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, he's thanked everybody, but he never got to thank you himself. Please give it up, Mr. Adrian Logan.